This is Public Access Signals from the Other Side, Part 13, lucky number 13. We are actually in a night phase. Let me go ahead and do not a recap of the mysteries, but a recap of like what your characters are doing right now at this moment. So at this moment, all we have like one big overarching problem, which is Linnea Rodenbecker. According to Father Rogelio, Linnea Rodenbecker is getting ready to jump from the water tower, and he's there with her, trying to convince her to come down. He can't get a hold of anybody right now, except he managed to get a hold of Nathan, and so Nathan knows what's going on. But that's kind of the hot situation right now as far as that goes. Speaking of Nathan, Nathan is currently in the bus of Gerald and Ambrose. They were just kind of hanging out and kind of being kind of cruel and flirtatious to each other at the same time. And uh, there's a whole it's like, the sun's going down. They have not opened up the grocery store because the grocery store is under siege. Currently, it's been under siege. Um, and Ben, or sorry, Sean and the kids and the grocery store manager and the deputy are all trapped in the grocery store because the crowd has gotten quite out of control. They have the grocery store under siege. They are behaving really strangely and violently, and it seems like they're about ready to bust into the place. And so we have this kind of like hot situation, but it's not really focused on Nathan. Nathan, I think, probably has the ability to sort of leave if you need to, Nathan. But you'd be leaving Sean and the kids by themselves or to whatever's happening to them. Over on Playa Morado, the situation is really interesting. Ed Rogelski has a technology set up, this sort of electrostatic static cage thing that is trapping Topher in it. Topher cannot, and Mr. W cannot get out of it. Meanwhile, Ashley has been lured into the basement where we have been told by the Whisper that Ed Rogelski knows about TV Odyssey because he filmed stuff down in the basement, and we think that it's Happy Jack, but we haven't seen that yet exactly. But Ashley has faked him out and has made Ed think that she's trapped when in fact she's not. And so this is what our night phase is right now. Our night phase is, can anyone help Father Aurelio with Linnea? You did answer the question. The answer you came up with was basically, I think what it all basically kind of boiled down to is there's this whole like love angle and everything. There's all this other stuff, but what it really boils down to is no one ever got Dolores's actual bones and body out of the lake, and so the Dolores that was. Oh, go ahead. Look like you want to say
It was
something else.
another person.
Oh, oh,
It was because there were
oh,
two
two
people
people
who were
drowned.
drowning.
That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Wait, so Dolores, the ghost of Dolores, wants the other person's bones out of
So
the lake?
just yes, as a recap, because I'm surprised by how much I remember of this conversation. Since Dolores Rodenbecker's body came out of the lake, but not her like spirit, that was like the
Yeah.
whole thing. But there was another person who Rogelio chose to save. Well, Rogelio chose to save Dolores,
Instead of
and
this
the
other
other
person,
person they were
right?
swinging with drowned. So Dolores' spirit, which has been unmoored from her body, has like survivor's guilt and just kind of wants the person's body reclaimed from the depths of the water, since they were
Right.
kind of since the lake doesn't give up their dead easily. That's
Got
at
it.
least I remember that's what we talked about.
Yeah, I just remember that we ultimately settled on there's still bones at the bottom of the lake.
Mhm.
I thought it was Dolores's, and that the Dolores that came back was just like a weird like revenant or something. But so it's this other person. Okay, we'll just go with that. In any case, body down in the lake. That's what um Dolores wants. I'm not sure why. It opens up a whole other question of like, why is the spirit going to like make Linnea jump as a result? Like, I don't like, that's the connection I don't quite get. Um, unless like, um, unless Father Rogelio has just totally misinterpreted what's going on here at the water tower. I suppose that's possible too. But in any case, we'll figure it out as we play. Um, That's kind of the deal, though. That there's this body in the lake. Um, that was never recovered. So, yeah, these are all the situations. These are all the stuff that's going on in this night phase. Let's just pick up with. I think we should pick up with Sean and Elliot and Casey, and the grocery store manager, whose name is Hector, and then Renita Toro, the deputy. So, Sean, what are you doing right now? I think you've been in the grocery store for like an hour at this point, kind of like with the crowd, like kind of essentially like kind of blocking off all the exits, and
Right.
Hector doing his best to keep the crowd under control. They have a gun as well.
Do they have a flashlight?
Sure, yeah.
I think he'll be trying to signal Nathan by shining a light out at the bus's windows.
Very good. I like it. What are you hoping to accomplish?
If Nathan can do something to maybe distract the crowd, or maybe even just like the bus driving nearby might be enough to get them to look away for enough time for people to make an escape.
Oh, I see. Very good. Okay. So this is going to depend on Nathan interpreting correctly what you do or what you're doing.
Right.
So what are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
Nathan will not interpret and the people will get into the store.
Yeah, I think it's worse than that. They will get into the store and they will grab Renita Toro, who's probably like your best asset in this situation right now. Let's go ahead and roll with composure. No, maybe reason. Let's do reason. And let's take a look at your conditions just to remind ourselves of what they are. You're
Just
okay as far as that goes.
So that is a 9.
9.
Oh, no, 10, sorry.
Oh, 10. Okay, great. So you will be able to adequately convey your message to Nathan, which is what exactly? Or do you kind of just generally like, we're trapped, help us, or what?
Yeah, trying to maybe like flick the light in the direction of the road, like go do something,
yeah,
move.
yeah. Very good. Nathan, you'll
Can
see
I-
this. What do you do?
Yeah, can I throw out there, Ben, that like maybe on the drive up here on the radio there was a song that you ended up like drumming on the wheel to, that Nathan had made a comment on it, but it was that fucking like, help, I need somebody, help. And then it's that exact drumming beat. So Nathan's like, oh, I get the meaning exactly. So
Sure.
I think Nathan sees that and he's just like, oh, okay. Casey and Elliot aren't still in the car, right? Like they got
No,
out.
they're all in the grocery store because
Thank God for me. So I'm gonna get in my car.
Yeah, because Sean like convinced the kids, because Sean thought there were customers in the store, but there weren't.
Yeah.
And so when the little boys were in the store, they drew the attention of the grocery store manager.
I feel like since Nathan sees this, he like gets in his car, like grabs the wheel, takes a deep breath in and exhales, and is like, oh God, oh God, oh God. But then he kind of realizes,
I think Geraldine's coming with you. She's like, you're not going to leave me here with these psychopaths.
okay, welcome to my Toyota Camry.
Stuart says, I'm coming too.
Why? So,
Stuart says, because wherever Geraldine goes, I go.
okay, Stuart. Well, we're
and
heading
I'm
to
a black belt
graveyard.
in Aikido. You need
You
me.
are?
Yes.
Apparently, okay. Fine, but you're not gonna like this part. I'm gonna like turn the ignition back up. I'm gonna face the crowd. I'm gonna just like honk, roll down the windows. Nathan leans out and says, "Hey assholes! I grabbed 15 cartons of the dream, and they're all mine." And then I'm gonna begin like quickly like reversing to try and get out. Hopefully, to lead some of the crowd to chase my car as I drive away.
Night move. What are you afraid is gonna happen if you fail?
I think I'm actually afraid that Nathan's getaway parking lot driving is not as good as he thinks it's gonna be, and he's gonna immediately back into like a lighting pole or something and just be stuck.
It's worse than that. This is going to become a full-on zombie attack situation. The three of you are going to have to fight your way out of the crowd. Go ahead and roll with composure.
Mark by Mr. Big Bad, so unless he's here.
No, Mr. Big Bad's not here. You're fine.
Do I have an item I can use here? No, I can't. I make an argument for the Pine Rock toy boat. I'll go ahead and just roll. It's a 7.
Okay. You're going to make your escape. You are going to have to. I think you're going to make your escape. I do think you are probably going to have a couple of. I think maybe like one really like far gone dream addict grabs onto the fender of the car or the front part, and you have to like get them off somehow. So just give us a scene of your escape. What does it look like?
Yeah, I feel like he begins to like swiftly like back up out of this lane of the parking lot as like a contingent of the dream addicts begin to like sprint towards his car, kind of pulling away from the front of the store. He kind of does like a, in his head he's thinking Tokyo Drift, but it's more like, like just like soccer mom van 3-point turn. And as he's beginning to peel out, he actually does have one person who like is a terrifyingly fast sprinter and like full like a crouching tiger, hidden dragon, like leap, grab the front of his fender, like on the front of his hood, and he has to like swerve a whole bunch. He actually merges onto like the main road with this person still just kind of on the hood, like pounding and like getting at the windshield. And I think Nathan has to like speed up and hits the brakes hard enough so that the person just with a like a squeaking just slides off at the front of the bumper, hits the pavement and rolls, and he has to like stop hard enough to like on a quick dime to prevent him from running over this person, since Nathan doesn't want to commit a murder. He's not that half of the relationship. And then he's just going to like lean out the window and say sorry, and then just get back and continue driving off.
So a couple things. One, you, as you're peeling away at this person who got knocked off the hood, there's a smear on the asphalt of where their head hit, but it's not a smear of blood. It's a smear of white. I would like the night move to keep your composure. What are you afraid is going to happen if you lose it right now?
I'm gonna throw up. Although that's a line. I can't. That's a line. I'm gonna change it. I'm going to have a panic attack while driving. Like,
it's worse than that. I think you like actually. I think you crash.
yeah.
Go ahead and roll with composure again.
Happily. Oh God, that's a 5.
Not good. Let's come back over to Sean briefly, and then we'll cut to the other group. Sean, Renita says they're running away from the store. Someone's drawing them away. Your plan worked. Let's get out of here.
How far is your cruiser or whatever?
She's like, not far. We can make it. She's like, come on, follow me. And Hector, you can hear Hector say over her shoulder, he's like, it's so hot when you take charge like that. And she's like, maybe just cool it for a minute. And you're like getting out into the parking lot. But I assume you're following.
Yep. Probably carrying the kids, one in each arm.
Yeah. Casey like tugs at you to get your attention, and he says, look, and he points, and you see a dream delivery truck pulling off, going in the opposite direction. It's still not taken off completely. Casey's like, we should Scooby-Doo this and go jump on it and follow them, see where it goes.
Yeah, Sean will kind of lick his lips a little and then shout to Renata, we got to follow that truck, that one there, and kind of point.
She's
with Casey.
She's like, it's a free country. You do whatever you're going to do. I got to get on the radio to Bill.
Yeah, you can do that as you drive following that truck. We got to know where it's coming from.
Casey's like, we don't have a lot of time. We got to go. They're getting ready to pull out now.
Come on. That's the source of all this trouble. We can't let it get away.
And Renita says, okay, just all right. And she and Hector are going towards her police cruiser vehicle, and they are beset by dream addicts. Dream addicts pop out of the bed of they're like in the cruiser, like clawing at her, and she's like, she kind of slings back. She's like, these people they're lost their minds. What do you do?
I'm going to try and use my lifeguard whistle to distract for a moment so we can get in the car.
Yeah, sounds good. Night move. What do you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
We will get overwhelmed by dream zombies.
Yeah, it's worse than that. Um, they will force you to eat the dream because they will have gotten into the grocery store by now.
Right on.
Go ahead and roll with reason for quick thinking.
And advantage for using the whistle.
Sure.
10.
Nice. Think about what that scene looks like. Slightly different pace over in Playa Morado. Topher, it's just you and Ed Rigelski up in the main bottom floor of the house. He's unaware of you, obviously. But he's like kind of looking down at the stairs because he knows something is about to happen to Ashley. And he's got like a look of nervousness, but like nervous anticipation. But then you hear him look over his own shoulder and he goes, "What's that? There's someone in here with me. What do you mean?" And he looks at the cage, and he walks over towards the cage. He puts his hands up on it and he says, "There's someone in here?" And here, Topher, you can hear the whisper now at this point saying, "Yes, they're right there. What are you going to do about it? It's an invasive signal. You should scramble it." And Ed says, "Yeah, okay." And he goes back over to his desk with a bunch of like wires and piled up equipment. And he comes back with this device with a O-scope screen and all kinds of like little, wires coming out of it and stuff. And he's like, "I can scramble the signal." And he starts like fiddling with this machine. And before it gets too far, Topher, how can you tell the machine affects you?
They see television static actively getting more and more dense in their field of vision.
Ashley, there is a light on in the basement, just a single bulb, but it's enough to get a glimpse of the place. It's very dusty and musty down here. The smell of rat droppings are in your nose. Rat droppings and wood shavings. But you see the faded, painted background of the forest, of Happy Jack's lumber forest, and you see a person, dead perhaps, laying face down in one corner of the basement. Their arms stretched out in front of them, and Happy Jack on his arm, laying face down. I would like for you to make the night move What are you afraid is going to happen if you lose your composure?
Um, I think she will definitely like try to approach it to check it out. And I think what she's afraid of is going to happen, that she's like not stealthy enough, or it's a trap. I mean, it's obviously a trap, but like she
You
isn't.
fall for it, yeah.
Yeah, I fall for it. Like I think I'm gonna be smarter than it, but I'm not.
It's worse than that. Happy Jack cuts a clean line across your throat and teaches you a lesson while you die, while you bleed out. I would like this to be done with composure, and I actually don't think any of your conditions apply.
All right. Well, it's still a 4.
Topher, what are you going to do right now?
So I think that so I had in the previous session described that Topher was like just pretty much updating their blog with their laptop in here, waiting for it to open up so they could get out. So I think that what they do is they pull up just some random YouTube video and they get in the video, and they're going to try their best to make it seem like Ed is having this idea themselves, but they're going to start talking about like, basically it's going to be like one of those far right podcasts where they're just talking conspiracy theories all the time, and they're gonna basically Topher's Joe Rogan now.
Yeah.
And
so a couple things. There's no YouTube yet, so that's one thing. But there can be video share. We'll say it's a video sharing site just to keep ourselves on the right timeline here. Good. I like it. Okay, great. So just to keep them talking, it's good. Okay, so I think this is actually going to be vitality. Weirdly enough. And what are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
Well, I mean the Topher's gonna get scrambled, really.
Oh gosh, how is it worse than that? I don't know. It's worse than that. Because the next time the group sees you, it will be on an Odyssey tape. Go ahead and roll with vitality. Let me take a look at your conditions. You're marked by the whisper, so I'm putting, and yeah, both your conditions are particularly salient, so mark with this, roll with disadvantage.
Six.
3 misses on the table. It is not looking great for the Deep Lake Latchkeys. Let's go ahead and pick up with Nathan. Nathan, you're so distracted, you failed to see 3 orange roadwork signs as you're going down the road. Indeed, you fail to see the road worker truck parked perpendicular on the road. I think that's right. Yeah. And the guy taking videos of himself, and you slam the brakes too hard. Geraldine Ambrose goes flying out the front, smashes through the windshield, slams up against the truck, and you run her over. Are you letting this ride or not?
Fuck no. Nathan's life is a bad reboot. God, this is yeah. I would so let this ride, but there's no way Sean would let Nathan live for killing Geraldine Ambrose. Since I'm driving en route to deal with Slumber Party, can I mark the key of sadness?
Oh, has it not been used yet?
It has not been used yet.
You certainly can.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you are actively working on Slumber Party now. Let's take a look at the key. Do I have that written anywhere? What it does?
Yeah. Each latchkey narrates a flashback to a time when they experienced great sorrow, either their own or someone else's. What about the experience made you a stronger person?
Everyone think about that because you're all going to have to do it. But you get a 7 to 9. And you won't crash. You are going to have to come to a stop. And you are going to have to deal with Ray. And Ray is a little different this time. We'll come back to this. Well, give me the scene.
Yeah, different how, Jason.
Give me the scene up until the point where you have to talk to Ray.
Yeah, he keeps staring into his rear view mirror to like see that smear of almost like reflective white in the growing gloom of the desert sky, and cannot help but think of just like dripping sticky white dream just trailing its way down the corner of his mind, when he probably hears Geraldine like shout, like watch out next to him, and he like spins around and he sees the traffic cones and he sees the car and he sees Ray. He doesn't process what's weird about Ray quite yet, but what's running through Nathan's mind in slow-mo is the traffic cones thinking, they don't give you enough warning in this state for road work. And he sees the car and he thinks that looks familiar. And then he sees Ray and he thinks, cannot help but think of back in his work at a studio when they made you recycle frames of animation. He's just thinking like, is my life just like this now? Recycled used footage thrown into the inconvenient pipeline. And then I think that's when he'll register as his foot hits the brake what's wrong with Ray.
Sean, you got a 10?
Yes.
Awesome. Go ahead and just give me the scene of getting into the truck, getting the dream person out of the truck, getting in, and then following this dream vehicle.
I think Sean will put the kids down and say, go around the other side of the car. And he's going to pull out that whistle and he's just going to start blasting it and kind of jumping around on the far side of the car with the hope of luring the people in the car out and then running around the far side.
Yeah, that'll all work. I think Renita will take control of the situation again, get you all loaded up, and she's like, she kind of throws the little like radio talk thing to you and says, get a hold of Sheriff Bill Hanscom. Just don't worry about codes or anything. I've got control of the vehicle. Hector, are you good? Kids, are you good? Buckle up, please. And the vehicle peels out. She's like, so why are we following this truck again?
Because they're behind all of this. We need to know where it's coming from.
She's like, okay, have you gotten the sheriff yet?
What do I press?
She's like, there's only one button on there.
Oh, hello? Hello? Bill?
She gives you a look like, Bill?
Bill just let it go.
Indeed. Topher, you got a miss, right? I think you're trying to like jump into this like video, which I guess is just like maybe he has like a laptop open or something or somewhere, and you're trying to like make this jump, and you can hear the whisper telling Ed Rigelski, turn this knob to this setting and move this dial over here and then do this. And it's working. This scrambling device is scrambling you. And as the world begins to glitch out, to glitch away. You see the great hungers waiting on you. Just Paula and Leo, but they are ready to receive you into their realm. And Ed says, there, I guess I did it. All right. Score 1 for Ed Rigilski. Secret government conspiracy 0. Ed Rigilski 1. Meanwhile, unless you're turning a key, of course.
I would love to turn the key of the unspoken because I think that one's very fun and I want to use it before
And
everything
that's
gets
for the whisper. So we have both
everything.
of the big keys done. Each of you finds something another latchkey does to be quite annoying. Who is it, and what is their annoying habit? We'll come back to the scene. Ashley, you approach the body. It looks up. It's Harvey Stosky. He says, and cut. And he just slings the puppet around. And it, quick as anything, just we see a line of blood across your throat. And you slump down to your knees. And Happy Jack says, well, boys and girls, what have we learned today? We've learned it's not good to come poking around into people's lives when you're not wanted. It's best to always mind your own business. Keep your eyes on the trees, or you'll miss the forest. And you just collapse as blood pools out underneath Happy Jack. Jazzy.
I mean, as funny as that would be for Ashley to just like
Die
die
this
in a,
way.
in like a dusty basement by a puppet. I think I will mark a key. And I think it's big man time. I'll mark the Wandering Monolith.
Oh, very good. Very intriguing. I think I would even like to say that Big Man is what interrupts this. He's not here anymore in his normal form, but you sense just a shadow in the dim light, a very large shadow pass over you, and that's enough for you to turn and look down and realize that Happy Jack is standing up. The arm is raised. And the complication here is that Happy Jack is walking forward on his little wooden legs and dragging the body behind him. I would like a follow-up roll. What are you afraid is going to happen if you lose your nerve?
I think that I'm going to become the new puppeteer that he's gonna attach to me.
It's worse than that. You immediately go stalking the other latchkeys. Go ahead and roll with composure. And I need to be reminded of your you have this injured condition, but I think you're still okay.
All right. Okay, we're making up. What stat was that? Composure?
Composure, I'd say.
Then it's a 12.
Oh, very good. Give you a bonus too. You have nothing to fear. Happy Jack raises up his other hand He has an Odyssey tape. And he hands it to you. That's your bonus for the 12. We'll come back to the scene in a moment. Nathan. Ray puts down the camera. He still looks like Ray, but he has a crowbar in his hand. And he begins circling around. And he says, to all of you in the car, still, little pigs, let me in. And Geraldine says, what are we going to do? Stuart says, I think I can take him. Nathan, what do you do?
I feel like he looks back at Stuart and says, you're really a black belt in Aikido?
He's like, well, I'm an Aikido enthusiast.
Good enough. Stuart, normally he like leans around and just kind of like levels his eyes at him and says, Stuart, normally I'd tell you to shut the fuck up and let me handle this because you're not in any way equipped to deal with the shit that's going on here. But I met this guy dancing in front of a camera to become famous on the internet, and you're a talent agent. So honestly, Aikido or not, you're probably the right fit for this.
And Geraldine says, God, I fucking hate Arizona.
We're in New Mexico, Geraldine. There's a difference.
Meanwhile, Sean. You eventually get Bill. He's like, Sean, is that you? What's going on here?
Yeah, your deputy's driving everything. We're okay, but there's something really weird going on at the grocery store in La Fresca.
He's like, yeah, I've heard there's like some kind of like riot or something going on down there.
Yeah, we were in the grocery store.
I've got a couple of cars on the way. We're gonna get under control. Are you okay? Is everyone okay?
Yeah, I think we're fine, but we're following a truck of the dream.
Okay. Do you think is there some kind of like, do you put Renita on? My other deputy.
Yeah, and he'll just hold the radio up toward her.
She says, Bill, this situation is out of hand. It's totally out of control. This kid seems to know what's going on. I'm just following my instincts here. We're gonna see where this truck goes, and I don't know. I think there's something wrong with this ice cream, Bill.
There's definitely something wrong with this ice cream.
And indeed, you will see a sign, rusted and weather beaten, that says, now entering White Spray. Let's take a 5-minute break. Topher, you have the mixed result here. And I think I'm just going to give you a complication. I think like you're going to keep Ed Rogelski talking. And I think what's going to happen here is Ed Rogelski is going to be able to tune you in whenever he wants to, as long as you have this condition, which is marked by Ed Rogelski.
Hell yeah.
So what does this look like? We'll say he has laptop open. You can get some video going there. What's happening here?
So I think that he'll see like, generic white guy podcast setup and like a red background, leaning back in chairs with cigars and shit. And they're just kind of saying, so you're telling me that you've been hearing this voice talking to you, right? And it's telling you all kinds of shit. And you're sitting there and you're just believing it as if it isn't some sort of Illuminati conspiracy? That's kind of weird, dude.
He's like,
Sounds like you're going sort of woke on me.
are you able to hear me right now?
Dude, yeah. I'm your subconscious, bro.
He's like, okay. Okay. If you can hear me and I can hear you, you must be able to read my mind.
Yeah,
What am I
I
thinking
am your
about right
mind.
now? What am I thinking about right now?
You're thinking about what's going to happen down in the basement with the Happy Jack set and that girl.
No. What else? Something I want real bad.
All of that recognition and all of this finally getting what you deserve, all of the recognition for everything that you've been right about all this time.
No, I want a pizza. I was gonna order a pizza. You can't.
Oh, I said I'm your subconscious, not your conscious.
Okay, fair. All right. So is this how this is gonna be from now on? Like, will you always be here?
I mean, as long as you have that thing tuned to that, yeah. You tuned into your own subconscious, dude.
He's like, okay. Um. Well, I've got this girl trapped in the basement. What should I do about that?
Well, I mean, that probably like let her out. I mean, I don't know what the hell you have her in there for even. What was the plan there? Just have her there?
He's like, well, no, it, there's, there's a lot going on down there. I, he says, so are you the person who's been whispering to me this whole time?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the Illuminati trying to get into your head, man.
He's
It's
like,
some MK Ultra shit.
he's like, this is a lot. This is a lot. I'm gonna go get a pizza. I want a meat lovers pizza right now. Only meat lovers because they spray stuff on the vegetables and it gets inside your bloodstream. And never mind. So
We got to go to Papa Murphy's. Make sure to get the stuff you cook at home so that they can't put anything in it while you're not looking.
exactly. You really are my subconscious mind. Okay. All right. Okay, I'll go let her out. And he goes downstairs. What are you doing right now, Ashley? You've been given a tape. I'll give you the name of the
Yeah.
tape. The tape is called, which tape we're going to do? We haven't done affirmations yet. Affirmations 04.
I think Ashley takes the tape and just kind of like looks at the puppet and says, "What are you? Did he film this? Where is Lucy?"
He says, oh, I remember Lucy. And he says, do you want to see her?
Yeah. Show me.
And he walks, dragging the body again behind him. Body dragging. And he points at something tall covered with a cloth. He says, she's right there. What do you do?
I'll pick up the cloth to see. I'm in this basement. I'm gonna get something out of it.
It's just a full-length mirror behind the cloth. And Happy Jack just laughs maniacally and then collapses.
Ashley just like rolls her eyes, very unimpressed.
You can hear Ed opening the door. He's like, "Oh, what's this?" And you can hear him finding your little tube that prevented the sensor from closing it completely. And he says, "Hey, are you okay down there? We had kind of a short circuit up here."
Yeah, I'm fine.
He's like, "Okay, well, you should probably come out now. I don't think there's anything down there worth seeing."
Usually isn't in a basement. I'll be right there.
Indeed. And you can go up. Happy Jack's done playing his pranks. Ed says, "So what did he want?"
What do you mean?
You know him. What did he want?
Scare me, I guess.
Yeah.
He gave me something.
Oh, yeah? What did he give you?
She kind of considers like, do I want to tell him?
He knows
then
about
she
TV
thinks it might-
Odyssey.
Yeah, he knows. So she's like, a tape. And she'll like show him, but like out of his reach.
He's like, "He gave it to you?
Sure did.
After all this time, he gives it to you? Unbelievable.
Is that why you lock girls in your basement? Because you hope that the puppet's gonna give you a tape?
He's like, everything is so confusing right now.
I get that.
I think you should probably go."
All right. But if you ever want to say something useful about the station, and she will scribble down her number or like type it in the laptop.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Let's do a scene with. I mean, we got to deal with this Ray situation, don't we? It's not good, Nathan. Stuart gets out and is immediately clubbed to death by Ray. Geraldine is screaming. She's like, "You've got to do something. Get us out of here." What do you do?
Yeah. Oh no, what a tragedy. I feel like I'm just gonna drive off. I have a water tower to get to. Sucks about Stuart. Gotta go.
So I think you're gonna have to escape.
Mhm.
Ray, this is the night move. What do you afraid is gonna
Yes.
happen if you fail?
I'm actually afraid that Geraldine's gonna get out of the car and try to save Stuart.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I think it's worse than that. She does defeat Ray, and she then takes control of the situation, and you get put in shotgun.
Oh wow, that sucks. Okay. I'll take it.
Roll of composure.
Happily. I simply must find an argument for how one of my items can help here. But I have 3 things and none of them I can see.
You're also
being
marked by
helpful.
Mr. Big Bad, so I'm putting it at disadvantage.
Fuck that. Okay. I have an odd one. If
Make your
if you'll-
case.
yeah, I will make my case. Can I say that because this is Nathan's car, I assume. Yeah. So can I say that I've
Yeah.
mounted like the the little toy Pine Rock Ridge boat is hanging from the mirror like he put it there, with the little pirate flag that's coming off of it. And looking at this is neither this is composure, because like this is why I feel like I can make this work. Is that Nathan looks at it and like it is a stabilizing reminder of not just like, oh, fond childhood memories, but more specifically in this moment, the whole pirate ship thing is like the a touchstone of like his creative identity, as we established with like him like drawing pirate ships at a young age, and also then like Cantor the Planet.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it.
It's
Yeah.
stabilizing his mind. Thank God.
It's a calming.
Calming. My little
your little totem here. Yeah.
My little totem. So I'll just make that a flat roll.
Or not. It's not the right word. There's another word I'm looking for. I can't think of it. Anyway, talisman.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. That is a 9.
I don't need any further complication. You can go ahead and just describe how you escape.
Yeah, I feel watching Stuart get bludgeoned to death. Geraldine is screaming. Nathan just puts the car in reverse and quickly, like, backs up and is going to. And honestly, I can set up a narrative complication in just that I'm probably about to be a person of interest, because I think I'm gonna run over Ray as I peel out of there. And just, they all have 2 dead bodies on the road that Nathan is now accountable for. Nathan commits his first murder, ladies and gentlemen. Actual manslaughter.
I was thinking of a condition. I think maybe person of interest might be the right condition here. Very good.
Muriel got in the 9th step, then Nathan will have it here.
Oh, fetish. That's the object I was looking for. Thank you. Sean, you and the gang, this impromptu Scooby gang, you all get into White Spray. White Spray's not much, I'll tell you that. There seems to be just a single small street with a few boarded up storefronts. A little bit of litter kind of blowing in the night wind. A group of coyotes sort of trots across the street and stops and looks at your vehicle, and they just truly do not give a fuck, and they keep casually crossing the road. And you can continue on, but let's paint the scene here real quick. Many years ago, during the golden age of Hollywood, White Spray was a resort town for the rich and famous. That's all gone now, but you can still see some very faint traces of that time. What are they?
I think there is like the wreck of a limousine that has just like nature has reclaimed it. It's really old. It's not very glamorous anymore, and it's this weird, like, not quite a tourist attraction, but it's like the one interesting thing that the town has. Like, we have this weird limousine that you can still look at.
There's one building on the kind of like front facade of the street that it has that kind of it's not Art Deco, it's more like that 1950s kind of retro aesthetic. The marquee calls it the Millennium Lounge. It's all boarded up. It's very clearly was this like a swanky smoking lounge bar kind of restaurant. And even though you're outside of it, you can almost just smell the cigarette smoke that was just at that point just baked into its features from the amount of people who would lounge there. And on the right night with a quiet breeze, you can almost hear distant jazz tunes.
Past one of the boarded up strip malls, there's a bare plot of land that used to have a retreat or some kind of wellness facility, but it's all gone now. All that's left is the iron gate that once stood in front of it. The walls it opened to are also gone. Just this gate.
I have to pause the recording for just a moment. Okay, so we're back. So we heard paint the scenes from Ben, Alex, and Jazzy. Steph, did you want to do one?
Yeah. There is like a junkyard that has a lot of the old like rich people stuff that just couldn't get carted out elsewhere, and a there's a homeless tent city that has taken up around there, and there is uh, a very like old disheveled man who's sitting atop like a throne of expensive like Gucci shirt boxes and stuff, or whatever was the big thing in 2004 for clothes. And he has a little Burger King crown on, and he's smoking a cigar.
Very good. So white spray, there's not a whole lot going on, but there is also a lot going on weirdly. Sean, it's nighttime. Renita keeps following this truck. Kind of leaves white spray a little bit and kind of goes higher up into I think this is like a little, it's kind of I guess it's kind of like a little small, like a hill, kind of a raised, elevated place. And a bunch of trees block from view until you get through them. A flattened part of the terrain where there is what appears to be a plant or a factory of some kind. There's a very high fence that goes around the whole thing. You can see at a glance there are workers going back and forth, and they're wearing full hazmat suits, which is maybe not great for a food factory. They're wearing the full like kind of biohazard sort of like suits. And that truck is waved through. Renita pulls off the road before that, and she's like, this is like that one scene in E.T.
Yeah. Except I think people are eating ET.
Hector says, do you think there's some kind of liability for Janie Food Market if we've been feeding people this stuff and it's...
No, probably.
Elliot's like, are you a lawyer?
Elliot, shut up.
So Renita's like, well, I don't think we should. We need to call Bill, we have probable cause. I think there's something going on, so we can come here during the day. We know where they're at. Thank you for your help. Let's get these kids back to safety.
Really? You saw it back there. We gotta if we can find something, if they get wind that the police are coming, they could shut this all down or hide it.
I'm an officer of the law. I can't like, what are you suggesting we do? We sneak in?
Yes.
That's not how law enforcement works.
Well, I'm not law enforcement.
You're not a lawyer either, Elliot says. And Hector says, I don't want anything to do with this. This is like, I'm on the fast track to making regional director, and I can't be involved in something like this. I mean, they're our most important supplier right now.
Really?
Well, yeah.
You keep carrying it, they're going to tear your place
down. The product is a little, it has some strange effects on people, I grant you. But our conversion rate through the roof, sales through the roof.
Have you ever seen Aliens?
These are the numbers that Hampton cares about.
Yeah. But have you seen Aliens?
the first one or the alien or aliens?
No, the good one. Aliens.
He's like, everyone looks at they all they all look at you funny after that, and they're like, he's like, go on, I suppose.
You're Paul Reiser right now. Don't be Paul Reiser. Be Sigourney Weaver.
Renita says, look, I can't do this. Hector won't do this. And I can't let you I can't put these kids in danger like this, but I can't stop you from jumping the fence to see what you can find. I can just turn a blind eye.
Right. All right. Yeah. Just give me like, I don't know, 20 minutes. And if I'm not back, take them back to
20 minutes. That's it.
20 minutes. Yep.
19 minutes.
Okay. And he'll just get out of the car.
Good. Well, so Ashley and Topher, what do you do now? I mean, you're kind of sorted out there with Ed Rogelski. I'm not sure what else there is to do in that place. You got tape. That's pretty great. Ashley, what do you do?
I think when Ashley steps outside, like just kind of like to the side so people don't see her, I think she just like takes a breath and then just kind of looks around and says, why me? Why my family? Why me again? Why did I get this tape? Why not that fucked up crazy dude? Why is it always me? Someone answer me right now. Why is it always me? And I think she's either trying to like connect to the whisper or to the big man, just kind of screaming and seeing who answers.
I kind of like it. Do the meddling move weirdly with sensitivity. Let's see if something happens.
Let's go. That is another 12.
Jeez. Very interesting indeed. The whisper says, you are just another vessel for the power that resides here. What do you know about Degoya County?
That it's fucked up. That it takes and takes and takes. It took my childhood and my family and my fucking sanity, and I guess now apparently my boyfriend. So it better starts giving something back.
You and your friends don't have a lot of time. Pretty soon, this place is going to take everything from you. Like it took those kids in 1997. 19 students at La Fresca Senior High climbed to the top of the 4-story school building, recited the Pledge of Allegiance, and then jumped. Sometimes a jump is the only escape. It's the only way out. You need to end this before that happens.
You're saying they jumped because of this? And she like taps the tape.
No. They jumped because of me. I told them something they couldn't bear to hear.
Yeah? Well, why don't you try me then?
I think at this point, I'll give you a clue. I owe you a clue. You notice you feel something under your shirt. Strange. You're mic'd up. They're always watching, always listening. That's your clue, though. Topher, what are you doing?
I think that Topher is also going to try and get some information here. They are sort of like mad at whatever this whisper thing is for being just plain rude, really. And I think Topher's going to go to one of the like otherworldly cameras that are everywhere, and they're going to try and reach in and take the tape out of it so they can watch it back and see what the fuck has been going on in here.
I like it. Go ahead and that's great. Go ahead and do the meddling move with reason. That seems reasonable to me. And you can make it with regular dice because I think you're probably going to like examine this once you've left the site. Doesn't seem like it's the kind of thing you're going to do like right here in the moment, unless you are. I don't even know how you would. So let's just see if it's going to eventually pay off.
Right. And my reason is, I believe, 0. Yeah. So, woo, another 6.
We'll think about this for a bit. Nathan, where'd we leave you? Escaping Ray?
Yeah, running over Ray with my car.
That's right.
Escaping.
You did all that.
Yeah.
We'll just fast forward to the water tower. At this point, Father Rogelio has managed to gather others. Trinity is there. Silas is there. Or is it Silas? Yeah, Silas is there. Daryl's even there. And you see Linnea standing on the railing of the water tower, just barely holding on to an overhang or to steady herself. Daryl is insisting on climbing the ladder to go up and get her. And Father Haley was like, no, the situation, like, no, anything could set her off. Just, we have to, like, talk her down. Trinity catches you up. She says, whatever's inside of her, she can't take it anymore. She spoke for the first time since all this started. She says,
What?
She can't deal. It's too much.
Nathan looks up at Linnea, looks at the ladder, looks at everything kind of in the chaos that's going around here. And he is hoping that in a lifetime of usually being ignored by other people, that will buy him enough time to begin climbing the water tower to get up there.
Oh, very good. I like it. Night move. What do you afraid is going to happen if you don't get there in time?
That Linnea is going to jump before he gets up there.
Yeah, I think that's about as bad as it's going to be. So
Yeah.
Roll with composure, and let me take a look at your conditions. You're okay on conditions.
Yeah. I'll roll flat. With composure, that's a 13.
Nice. Geraldine says, you can hear Geraldine saying to Trinity, does she like Muffy the zombie killer by chance? And Trinity just puts her sunglasses on and ignores Geraldine. You get up, and because you got such a good roll, I'll let you talk Linnea down.
Okay.
Let's just have this. So we'll think about the scene.
Mhm.
We'll check in with Sean. Sean, I'm not going to make you roll to infiltrate the plant itself. You can jump the fence if you just find a spot that's not super close to the front. But once you're in, let's paint the scene, everyone. What about this compound makes us think the workers are trying to hide something here? Apart from all the hazmat suits.
Oh, full on razor wire fences. Let's come on. Gotta be, yeah. Checkpoints and all.
And don't turn this into a night move for Sean by putting razor wire at the top of the fence. No, it's fine.
I think like as Sean is hiding, you can see like someone getting stopped at the door and they have like this strange device that they're kind of like holding over them and like looking to check something before anyone is allowed in.
I think there's small cabins behind the facility so that the workers stay on site all the time.
There is a like a big gift shop at the front that is made to be so distracting and like full of so many cool things, and like you get free samples of the dream with every purchase, so it is specifically drawing all of that attention away.
Very interesting. Sean, you realize pretty quickly that you're not the only person sneaking around the plant right now. You see an older man wearing a Hawaiian shirt. He has a luxurious mane of salt and pepper hair, despite his age. And you recognize him, actually. This is a local character from Degoya County who you haven't heard about or thought about probably in many years.
Oh no.
His name is Chucho Churros, and he was the owner and mascot of a food company by the name of Chucho Churros back in the 60s and early 70s, famously put out of business by W. Atlas Morgenstern and his aggressive marketing tactics. Retired to Palm Springs, but is apparently back, perhaps drawn by stories of Morgenstern's revival. He's clearly sneaking around the plant as well. What do you do?
I think Sean's going to try and wave him over and put a finger to his lips to indicate that, yeah, he's also here for up to no good.
He does like a A-team run, like he's like hunched down and running, like hunched down. And he kind of runs over to you and he's like, who are you?
My name's Sean. I recognize you.
He's like, yeah. And he shows he's got a big like giant gold belt buckle that looks like a wrestling belt, and it's got the Chucho Churros written on it.
So, I think we're here for the same reason.
He's like, the only thing we need to be in league about right now is getting the hell out of here.
Why? What'd you find?
Oh, we can talk about it later, but we gotta go now, quick.
Yeah, this way. I found a way in.
He's like, all right. And as soon as you head back towards the fence, you encounter a couple of workers, like they were waiting on you, or they were following Chucho, or who knows. But they're not wearing the hazmat suits. They're just wearing like kind of gray jumpsuits. And they have white, milky fluid dribbling from their eye ducts and their nose and their mouth. And they are approaching you both. And before you have a chance to react, one of their foreheads explodes, splattering you with white shit all over your face. And then you hear the report of a gun. There is a woman standing behind the two of them. She takes the other one out just as efficiently as she took the first one out. She has a short, stylish afro, wearing a black Pulp Fiction style men's suit, very sensible shoes. And she says, "You two, let's get the hell out of here now." And she is about to escort the two of you out.
Sean will follow her wherever she goes.
Indeed. And you escape. And we'll pick up with Chucho and this woman who introduces herself as Flo and Florida Flo Jackson. And we're kind of getting close to being done with the night phase here. Let's just wrap up with Nathan.
Nathan ascends the water tower, trying not to look at the ground as he ascends upward, but eventually makes it to the top and has to kind of arms out slightly to the side, steadying himself. He's getting kind of a strong sensation of vertigo as he swallows very heavily and has to close his eyes and take a deep breath so as not to have a panic attack on top of this water tower. Kind of takes a few shaky steps forward until he's kind of at one end so that he can see Linnea on the other. And he says, Linnea, Dolores, I guess, both of you, if you can hear me, please just make some kind of sign that I'm getting through to you. I know
Linnea
that
now. I'm here.
Hey. What's up, Linnea? How you doing?
Not good. Nathan?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Nathan. I'm not sure if you remember me. I kind of had a therapy session with your aunt in the graveyard while she was in your body, I guess.
She's like, the last time I remember seeing you, you had Samantha was putting makeup on you and neon hair scrunchies in your hair.
Yeah, I didn't look good. I didn't look good at all.
Right.
Look, hey,
Nathan, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear you there.
I don't know what to do.
Why? I mean, you mind if I ask, what's up? Why? What's brought you to the ledge, Linnea?
Whatever this thing is inside of me.
Look,
it seems to think that I can, through my death, I can help it find what it's looking for. I don't know what it's looking for.
Linnea, you've been through a lot these past couple of days, so just I understand. Just hear me out for a minute before you jump. Just listen to what I have to say because I understand what you're going through. I mean, not to the extent of being possessed by the unmoored spirit of your weird aunt, but I can at least sympathize with the feeling of having something inside you that thinks you'd be better off dead. Kind of something I've been dealing with for most of my life, actually. Obviously, not to the supernatural degree, or maybe it is. This town's fucking weird. Who knows? But I understand the feeling of everything being too much and not being able to take it anymore. I get it. I think that kind of constantly. Even today, even yesterday, many days beforehand, going back to when I was a kid, I felt like that before. I remember very distinctly when I was when last I lived here, when I was alone, despite having my family, I had no friends. I knew what it felt like to be alien in my own body and how easy it would be just to step out in front of the school bus when it came to pick me up in the morning. That's a fucked up thing for an 11-year-old to think, but it's just, I get it. I do. But there's something more going on here with you, Linnea. And from what me and my friends think you have going on, it's we can fix this in a way that is not going to need your death, and you will be free of this. And in fact, I envy you in some ways that you can be free of it so easily, and I can't. So if I can't help myself be rid of my demons, let me help you get rid of yours. We just need to work to get something from the lake. That's all we need. And we think that'll be enough to placate the spirit of Dolores that is inside of you. You have no reason to die here because you honestly are probably the only cool Rodenbecker as far as I'm concerned in a family full of fucking weirdos. All right? Like, you let us help you. I understand that it's way too much. So just let go of the wheel and let us drive it home, but don't plummet to your death. Let go of the need to fix it yourself. Let us help you. Let other people help you. And back away from the fucking ledge, maybe. I'm getting some serious cottonmouth up here from both the vertigo and the fact that you're imminently about to fall off the edge, and I'm just kind of trying to talk, and maybe that I have a good
She's like,
habit of talking too much, and maybe
will you stop if I come down from the ledge?
Yes, absolutely, I will.
Okay. And she does. She says, you know how to get this thing out of me?
We have a really good idea that we do, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then let's do it. And I think I'd like to just have a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do that scene in montage where you retrieve whatever's at the bottom of the lake that the ghost is looking for. And then I want to do all the key scenes that are owed.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do dawn phase, and that'll probably be our session. So let's take a 5-minute break to give you all time to think about the montage, because I think it's something that all the Latchkeys will probably come together to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go from there.
I do still have my my miss too.
Oh yeah, you do. It was not an information or a meddling move.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think about that while we're on break. A couple of things before we wrap this night phase. Sean, Florida Flo Jackson and Chucho Churros are going to escape the plant with you, but you get separated in the escape. You manage to meet back up with Renita and can get back to safety, back to Deep Lake. But Flo Jackson and Chucho Churros are both on the board now. Topher, the tape you managed to grab from one of the weird interdimensional cameras that are set up everywhere that you can see is not an Odyssey tape, but it does have a label. Chili Cook-Off 87. When you watch this tape in whatever way that you are able to do that in the chromatic desert, you see that it is apparently a home video taken by what appears to be 4 college friends from the University of New Mexico traveling to the Great Degoya County Chili Cook-Off. Just kind of a road trip, essentially, a little short road trip. And the tape is mostly just them, 2 guys, 2 girls, just hanging out, laughing, doing bullshit college kid stuff. They get to the little convention center thing where the chili cook-off's being held, and they're kind of like interviewing people and eating chili, and there's not much to it. And then that's kind of it. But you can put that in your corner of the house if you want. That tape.
Yeah, that's pretty good for a 6.
Yeah, I would say so. And Nathan, you can gather the group if you wish to maybe early the next morning, dealing with Deep Lake and Linnea and all this, and putting this to rest. So what happens in this little montage scene here? How does it start?
I think for the Latchkeys who are able to make it to the lake, I mean, Nathan will give them the lowdown, but he's also going to call on the aid of Emily Beaumont as a lake expert. And if he can, Joey Keane, because as a lifeguard, kind of like assistance is
I
needed.
don't think he's a very good lifeguard, but okay.
No, well, never mind then. Never mind. Not Joey Keane then, but definitely Emily Beaumont, just because she's our friend. Do we have any other like side characters that would be good with a lake thing? I'm trying to think about all the ones we have.
Well, I mean, there's the side characters from the actual mystery. I mean, like you've got Samantha and Cholula and all them.
Aside from the summoning circle people, yeah, I think then in that case mostly it's just going to be Emily Beaumont from the actual lake staff to get help with this. And I don't know. I'm open to ideas of how we want to go about dredging an old body from the depths of the lake.
I mean, it sounds like the kind of thing that Sheriff Bill might help out with too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We'll actually call Bill's services in. That's actually a great idea because then we don't have to do anything because the fucking county can just handle that because they got divers, I assume. So then, just call in a couple of the favors and people.
Or then get somebody in from Albuquerque if nothing else. I mean,
I think Nathan's participation in this whole affair afterwards and just the montage will mostly just be him sitting kind of on the banks of the water while there's all the other people around, and you just kind of like sitting there just kind of like looking at the water, kind of like solemnly, little complicated expression on his face.
What's everyone else doing while the lake is being dredged?
Are the kids back at the house?
It can be, yeah.
I think Sean would go sit next to Nathan. Not say anything until Nathan does, but just sit.
I think we would see Ashley go on the boat that's like going in the lake, and we see the divers go. And I think we see her like try to help in that sense of where she with the previous with like Jessica Stosky, where we felt weird things and she's just like kind of like we have nothing to go on, so she's just like, well, this is what I've got these potential spots for you. But I think we just see like this determination to get something back from Deep Lake and from this lake.
Yeah, Linnea would probably be helpful too, because now she knows what's going on, right? So she can,
I think that as the body is being like surfaced, we see Topher and Mr. W sitting on like a fallen log behind the lake itself, sort of away from everyone. And what looks to everyone else is just, the body being recovered. We see from Topher's point of view, it's almost as if like an aurora borealis or the northern lights are coming out of the lake itself as the body is being revealed. And they are able to see Dolores leave Linnea's body as the spirit of whoever else drowned in the lake rises from their body, their remains. They hug and they cry, and the aurora borealis flashes incredibly bright, and then they're gone. And Topher just scratches Mr. W behind the ears and nods.
Fantastic. That is Slumber Party Summoning Circle resolved. We have 2 keys that are out in the world right now that everybody has to participate in: the unspoken and sadness. You can narrate them in either order that you wish or combine them as you wish, but whoever wants to go first, please do.
I'll do mine for the unspoken, the annoying habit first. Um, I feel like because of the circumstances, I will do one about Topher because that's sort of like the only one that I like know enough, or like Ashley knows enough to find like an annoying habit. I think what Topher does is they tend to like overdo their sweet gestures a little bit. For example, I think like Topher found out, like maybe Ashley told them that she used to walk home like when the lights started to flicker, and there was like this soothing feeling about seeing the lights just like flicker gently and feeling like you're like in this strange twilight limbo space of going home when others are already gone. And I think Topher has like started to, whenever Ashley goes to sleep, to like flicker the lights in Ashley's room. Now they're in the chromatic desert, but it's like always a little bit too much. And Ashley's like annoyed with it, but she knows that Topher's doing it to be nice, so she can't say anything. But it's like, Topher, I get it. It's too much.
What started as this like kind of close encounters like kind of thing like is turned
Yeah.
into this like more just annoying thing. Yeah, it's good.
Just like every night, slightly too long.
I think it's an annoyance that Ashley, whenever they've watched movies together, Sean is like a popcorn artiste. He makes the best popcorn, the right amount of seasoning, the greatest amount of butter or topping. And as they're watching the movie, he's absolutely taking fistfuls and doing that thing where you're not quite putting it in your mouth, you're kind of rolling it in your mouth. And Ashley will take one piece of popcorn at a time and nibble each little flap. And Sean will just watch her from the corner of his eye as she's just like a rabbit. And it drives him insane.
Nathan has an issue with something Sean does. And now, even though Nathan does not remember Sean extensively, since coming back and knowing Sean, he still does this, and it still annoys him. It's such a small thing, but every time Sean comes to talk to anyone just in the house, but Nathan only notices with himself, is he will he has a habit of leaning on door frames, like when he's talking to you. And then every time he's done, he loudly pats the door frame before like walking away. And it's just like a little like hammer that Nathan just absolutely just gets on his nerves. It's just like, and it's something so small, but it sounds so loud and brusque, and just, why do you do it every time? Do you realize it? Do you not realize it? And it's just there. It's just there and tormenting Nathan.
I think that Topher and Nathan's like bedrooms are sort of connected by a wall. There's not a door or anything into them from the wall, but it's pretty thin. And at night, Nathan listens to one song from the Treasure Planet OST to sleep to on repeat. And Topher has gotten so sick of hearing it.
Fabulous. That was the key of the unspoken.
That song is I'm Still Here, by the way, just so we're all clear. It is I'm Still Here. So
the key of the unspoken is turned. What about the key of sadness?
I can start if people are still thinking. We see Ashley's father. It's quite late at night, but Ashley doesn't sleep well anymore since Dave moved after what happened. We see her father. He is drinking. He looks very disheveled. And we hear like the pitter pat of tiny feet coming from the stairs. And he just, without even looking up, he's just like, it's fine, sweetie. You should go to sleep. You have school tomorrow. It's I'm just tired. So he's like doing that thing that parents do where they're trying to pretend everything is fine, and they were just cleaning up, and he's like making sure that she only sees his shoulders, because then she won't know that he is obviously crying, even though she is, she has ears. And she kind of like stands there very awkwardly, and she says, I'm sorry. I didn't. No, sweetie, don't. It's not your fault. It's I should say sorry for everything. I didn't think. Look, we don't need to talk about it. Okay, it's fine. We're okay. Mommy was sick, and sometimes that happens to people, and now we're okay. And he just starts fully crying in his drink. He like tries to finish it, but it dribbles from his mouth as his lips are trembling too much. And Ashley is just standing there, not sure if, well, anything she does is going to make it worse. And he just says, we should have made better choices for you. That's what parents are supposed to do, right? We make choices for you, and well, honey, we made all the wrong ones. So don't you say sorry. And she decides that even if she's gonna make it worse, she has to try. She has to try something in this moment, because since it happened, she hasn't hugged her dad, and he hasn't hugged her, because how do you do that after something like that happens? And she very quietly, cautiously, like the way you would approach a wounded animal, reaches forward and puts her hand on his shoulder, and he just crumbles. He just can't. It's been so stressful. It's been so awful. And he knows that this is a child and he shouldn't show her this, but he can't. It's late. He's drunk. He's distraught. And he just turns into her hug as she holds him and kind of like pets his head the way that he used to do with her. And it made her feel better. And he just cries for a long, long time. And in that moment, Ashley learns that you always have to try, even if it makes it worse, even if it makes people crumble, you always have to keep trying.
There is a sound that haunts Nathan. When he was in his late teenage years, his family had already moved by this point, away from Deep Lake. There was an incident that he experienced on his commute home from school one day. He was a senior in high school. He had a car, and he was we see that the parking lot of his school was situated next to one of the kind of like public transit spots for that county. And there was some commotion that drew Nathan's attention, and he went to go see what was happening. And there was an incident where a teenager from his school, a classmate that he was dimly aware of but didn't know very well, had actually like thrown himself under the wheels of a bus as it was pulling out from the bus stop. And so what the scene is, there's the coroners on site, basically getting the police, keeping people off to the side because they have to, pull a body out from under a bus's wheels. And Nathan didn't get to see anything particularly gory. Thankfully, the first responders on the scene did a very good job of hiding that from public eyes. But Nathan's always been a bit of a wallflower and latching onto things happening in the periphery. And he was drawn amidst the commotion to the woman who was talking to a police officer at that time. And you didn't need to be some inquisitive, insightful genius to understand that this was the mother of the person who is currently being pulled out from the wheels. There is a sound a human being can make that is only under the deepest sorrow, a kind of just a scream of such wailing hopelessness that it is unrecognizable as a human sound. And that is the sound that came out of that woman's mouth as the police were explaining what had happened to her son. It was a sound of such deep and profound loss that it hit Nathan hard. And all he could do was find himself staring at this woman in the throes of her greatest tragedy. And it's like, Nathan would never go so far as to say that it's like the resonance of that noise, affected his molecules deep down. He's not anything like that, but that sound haunts him. And it made him reflect on a lot about himself, about his nature and his traumas. And it didn't make him strengthen any particular resolve, but after that experience, it's almost like he sought out wanting to read other people more. He had always been kind of socially blind and just like kind of like blinders on, didn't really pay attention to the emotions of people around him. And even though he struggled with social cues thereafter, it's almost like experiencing that woman's sorrow made him want to seek out looking at and understanding other people's emotions, even when his made no sense to him.
I can go. This will be a combination, I think, of the key of sadness and also Sean's flashback to some childhood trauma. Sean wakes up in his small house, dragging himself from bed and running a hand through his messy hair. He's 14 years old. It's quiet, except for the soft sound of birds outside. He walks out of his bedroom and into the hall, past the other bedroom door, the bed beyond untouched. He walks past a calendar for September 1992 on the wall above a small sideboard, and as he does, he starts humming the theme to The Legend of Zelda. He sits down at the kitchen table, his eyes falling on a note in the fridge stuck with a small magnet. Working late, see you in the morning, Scott. Sean blinks at the note. Who the hell is Scott? And he stands up. Someone's been in his house. He walks back to his bedroom, windows closed. He walks into the other bedroom. It's full of things. There's clothes on the floor. There's posters on the wall. It means nothing to him until he sees something on the dresser. It's a photo of him and an older boy who looks a lot like him. And it hits like a truck. Scott, his brother, the one who owns this house, the one who took him in when he got kicked out. His heartbeat starts to hammer in his ears as he rushes back to the hall, that little sideboard under the calendar. He picks up the phone and looks at the little piece of paper slipped into the handset with often used phone numbers. And he dials the number for TV Odyssey, where his brother works. It doesn't even ring, just a simple message. This number is not in service. Please try again. With his blood pounding in his ears, Sean steps away from the phone, shaking his head, running out into the street. His brother's car's gone. When he sees someone walking, probably to school, he says, did something happen? Is everything okay? The kid looks at him like he's confused and just walks past. Sean rushes back into the house, looking through everything for some sort of anything that makes sense, and there's nothing there. He tries the phone number again and again, and finally he calls his father. And his dad picks up the phone. And Sean just says, "Have you heard from Scott?" And his dad says, "Who's Scott?" And Sean hangs up.
Hofer is very young, probably not even double digits yet. Their mother and their father are still around. We see them sat in front of a old like tube television set, and on the TV is some sort of kids show they've been obsessed with recently. They're sitting there on the floor next to the TV or in front of the TV and occasionally looking to their side and talking as if someone was sitting next to them. We see through their point of view, there is this other childlike figure made completely out of television static sitting cross-legged beside them. And Topher says, What do you mean? What do you mean you can't stay anymore? Why, why, why not, Jerry? Let's, and we see the figure's head turn to face Topher. And we hear the shrill sound of a dial-up modem emit from this person, from this figure. And Topher just kind of looks down, sad, and says, "But I don't understand. Protect me from what? I don't think there's Deep Lake's fine. It's safe here. It always has been. At least that's what Mom always said. Always says that, this is the safest town in Blue Mexico." And what do you mean? No, she said it's Blue Mexico. It's Blue Mexico, Jerry. It's not New Mexico. It's not Old Mexico, is it? So it's Blue Mexico. No, no, I guess. But I don't understand why that means you have to leave, though. And the figure, once again, this loud dial-up sound emits from it. And Topher nods and begins kind of shedding a tear and says, "Okay, if it's really that important, but I'm going to miss you." And they reach over and they hug the figure, who then goes into Topher's body. As they hug them and squeeze them, they sort of merge. And we see from Topher's mother's perspective, we see Topher just sitting sort of glass-eyed, staring at television static on the tube television. And then Topher blinks and the TV turns off, and then they turn to their mother and start crying and go and they hug them. And when their mother asks what's wrong, they just look up and said, "Jerry's gone now. He said he needed to make it so that I won't be forgotten. And I don't know what that means."
All right then. that's that's the key of sadness turned. Thank you, everyone. With that, we'll head over to the dawn phase. Rewards. Let's grab some rewards. I will drop the image here for us in chat, but I'll read it out loud for folks watching the video. You can choose from a copy of The Crying Circle, add it to your corner of the house. That is the board game that caused all the trouble in the first place. An unpublished booklet from The Crying Circle called The Tome of Hatred, discovered in PDF form on the internet, add it to your corner of the house. A vial of holy water, add it to your corner of the house. You can make Silas Rodenbecker a recurring side character. You get an extra clue on the meddling move when you seek his counsel on matters related to the old families of Degoya County, or a memento from the investigation.
Who wants Silas Rodenbecker? We all want Trinity Rodenbecker.
Indeed. Trinity would never
Tragic.
be bound in this way, though.
I know, tragic.
Yeah.
It's real machine behavior.
Unless you're part of the resistance, in which case.
Yeah.
Who wants what?
I'll just take a memento. Who do I want to make up for me? Ben, do you want to make up a memento for Ashley?
Could it be Father Martinez's phone number? Is
Ooh.
that
Sure. We decided he is a real person. He's not
Yes.
a ghost.
Yes.
Um,
Interesting that Ashley would have it.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
yeah, 4 other options here.
And given the ghostly nature of both Topher and the game, I think taking the copy of the Crying Circle makes the most sense.
Go for it.
What are you thinking about, Ben?
I'm not sure Sean would know what a PDF is. So let's go with Silas.
Okay. Then I will take the Tome of Hatred.
Mhm. Dawn questions. You all resolved a mystery, so everyone gets credit for the first question. We did not watch a tape, so the second question is not relevant. Ashley, were you vulnerable with someone? Yes. Did you go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake? I would say yes. Nathan, did you deliver a chilling monologue about something that happened to you in the past? I feel like you did it a couple times, probably.
Yep.
Did you share a good memory from your childhood?
Last session talking about my childhood with Geraldine.
Ah, indeed. Topher, did you deliver a chilling monologue about something that happened to you in the past?
No, I don't think so.
Did you share a good? Well, actually, I'll give it to you for out of character because your out of character flashback. I will consider that it was pretty chilling, and it was a monologue. Did you share a good memory from childhood? However,
no, not yet.
Sean, did you deliver a chilling monologue?
I did not get a chance.
Although, again, I think your flashback counts. Were you vulnerable with someone?
No.
No. Okay. That last session counts as well, if you can think back.
I don't think. Well, actually, kind of with Nathan in the car.
Yeah, in the car.
He discussed how
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Fantastic. That is Dawn questions sorted. I don't think we have any moves that resolve in the Dawn phase. And we don't have any key prompts. So that brings us to the end of the session. Let's go ahead and do stars and wishes. I'll kick off today since you all did so much talking while I just sat here for a while, being an audience member, which is fun. The keys of both, I actually really enjoyed this sort of like TikTok of like the kind of funny unspoken ones and then the like really, really like heart-wrenching and bizarre and disturbing and sadness ones. Those are all really great. So stars for that. I love this session. This session had such a good for one thing, it really felt like the movie The Stuff. All the stuff with Sean. I was really happy with that. Like we were getting like the stuff, which is great. There's more to go there. That's actually my wish. I'm excited to have more scenes, proper scenes with Chucho and Flo Jackson. I loved all that. I really enjoyed the weirdness of Ed Rogelski's house and like all the stuff that was going on there in the basement and with the whisper. Like there's just so much going on there, and it was really kind of just fun to kind of like undo that puzzle with everybody. Really, really good stuff. I was very happy with how the crashing the car scene played out. I came up with that on the fly, but it was like, oh, it needs to mirror what happened with Ashley, because like that was when their romance or their potential boyfriend girlfriend thing was starting to maybe happen, and that is kind of maybe what's happening with Geraldine right now. And so it felt good to like do an echo of the two, in addition to just being creepy to do it that way. So I was really happy with that, and I actually really loved that whole sequence of just how Nathan was like kind of handling that situation. It was all really good. I really enjoyed talking down Linnea from the ledge. That was a lot of fun. Star for that. It was really good. It was just a good session. It was really fun to do an extended night phase. We've not done that yet, so that was really kind of fun. It was a little longer than I probably would have even done a night phase normally, but that wasn't watching a tape, but it was still it was well within the game's parameters, I think, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see. I know what Mystery's coming next. I don't know if there's going to be any chili cook-off follow-up or not. I planted that seed just to see if something happens there. I don't know. I haven't decided, but it is a thing. So yeah, really good time. Thank you. Whoever wants to go next, go for it.
Stars for also the the movie, the stuff just being happening with Sean. It was so awesome. I literally screamed "fuck yeah" at the top of my lungs when Nathan ran over the stuff, the dream zombie, and just exploded in stuff because I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's my boy!" It was great.
Elliot and Casey would have loved that, by the way. They didn't get to see it.
Right?
Yeah.
Poor guys. So sad for them. I also just star for Chucho Churros. I think he's hilarious and incredible. Chocolate Chip Charlie was one of my second favorite characters in the stuff, and
After
I
Mo,
think,
Mo is the best character.
right?
Mo is
Exactly.
so good.
He's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I watched it again recently with someone that I've been seeing, and we fully agree that Mo needs his own spin-off show.
I just finished reading The Exorcist, the book. I'd never read the book before, and it is totally downplayed in the movie how cool the Kinderman character is. If you know The Exorcist, the cop, he's such a cool character in the book. And then I was delighted to find out that he's the main character of the sequel. And I was like, oh, that's we never got our line of Kinderman movies. Come on. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
Also stars for the I've already forgot the name of the key, but the one with the annoyances. I super loved those. Everyone's the key of the unspoken. Everyone's prompts for that were just perfect. It's exactly what I had hoped would sort of be the themes of it. When
if I can interject really quickly,
I had read
that
it.
key is that's old Jason Cordova religion, because I used to do this in Dungeon World, right? This was one of my things in Dungeon World, where I would basically the question that I would pose to the group is pick a character. That character does something that you find extremely annoying or very endearing. There was also a very endearing component which you could choose. And so it was always fun to see the players choose who are they going to pick, and was it going to be endearing or annoying? And you get these really interesting, fun dynamics out of it. And so I was really happy that it came off this time, because I absolutely stole it from that. So
yeah,
sorry,
I mean, I remember listening to that episode on Discern Realities, and when I ran my Dungeon World campaign, I actually used that too. It was incredible. It's some of the most fun that I had. So when I saw that key, I was like, oh, we need to mark it. It has to happen, because I think it's so great, and I'm so happy that we did, and everyone's reactions and prompts. And I loved Alex, you so very exasperated with the okay, fine, it is Treasure Planet. It was so good. I personally fully agree. Treasure Planet kicks ass, but I don't know. It's still really funny.
That ongoing joke is so good. It's so
it
good.
is.
I listened to the last
time.
episode. I listened to the last
Every time.
episode, and I was to get ready for this. I was so delighted. It was it's a thing I did, but I was still delighted. I was so delighted by it was really subtle, but basically Geraldine being yeah, I make them go get that book out of the Barnes and Noble bargain bin. They have to pay $2.98 for it. It's just one little thing after another. It was so great. Anyway, it's a great
indignity after indignity.
ongoing joke.
Yeah. As far as wishes go, I am excited to figure out how to or rather what the cook-off is going to be, because I am definitely interacting with that. I personally, some of my favorite stuff, I love okay, I have to be careful how I phrase this here, because I was about to say I love cannibalism.
I know what you mean. I do too. It's my favorite thing in horror. I love it. I
Right?
love when people. I love it when people start eating people. I love every book about about basically every book about the 19th century that ends up in cannibalism, because they almost always do. So good. Yeah, it's my jam.
I love that. So I'm really excited to see what like that sort of entails interacting with that in our game. Like to me, I have this idea that it's like because you had said something along the lines in the mystery contest video that it's sort of like an offshoot story. I was like, oh, so we're gonna like make these characters and play through that, and it's gonna be awful for our characters to watch, right? That's what's happening. So that's a wish. I'm excited to see just what the deal is with that, as well as really big one. I want to get some fucking clues for the dream. We've gotten so much context and like action and interaction with it, but we have not figured out how
You've
to
learned
like
nothing about it yet.
Yeah, we haven't done anything with it. It's like we're trying so hard to investigate it without like fucking with the stuff itself because we're like, "Ee." So funny. I'm excited to finally get to learn more about that.
Yeah, definitely gonna also star the continued dunking on of Treasure Planet because it's a funny bit. I agree to this. It is an insult that I appreciate. No, it was really funny. I kind of like the continued misadventures of Geraldine Ambrose and Nathan Toomey. There's nothing happening between them. No, that was great. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to star about the session just because those key prompts alone were really good. I do want to call out Sean's, interactions with the whole grocery store sequence. I just overall appreciated the whole aspect of like, okay, this is a night phase where truly we have a lot going on in different ways, and like letting us live in the scene was very cool of Jason to structure it that way. So watching Sean go through his trial by fire with Casey Elliott and then into White Spray, and then just overall it was a really cool like, all right, so Sean's in an action movie tonight, an action conspiracy thriller. Nathan's in this whatever Nathan's in something weird. Really cool with the whisper scene with Ashley and Topher as well. I thought that was a really creative solution to try and manipulate Ed. It's giving me ideas for like the theories we can take for the whisper. The Happy Jack inclusion was so cool. I thought that was like a really cool spin of having him be like aware of TV Odyssey, which is actually a funny coincidence because in another game where I ran, I also had Ed remember TV Odyssey just out of the blue. So it's just really cool getting to see like how that like flushes out the like, I don't know, like cosmology of what's going on for us and how things are interacting. Yeah, no, there's so much to love about the session. Wish wise, I'm very excited to know what our next mystery is. I'm feral for that. Any other wishes that come to mind? Oh, I mean, I know what I'm going to do for Nathan's custom move now. I thought about it finally, so I have thoughts on that. So I'm going to begin fleshing that out. So yeah, that was really cool.
I enjoyed so much of this session. I really enjoyed, as was previously mentioned, all the key responses, getting to see more of how the characters experience each other. Like we get a lot about our own past, but just that little the insight into what annoys everybody about each other is really great, and I feel like it helps really bring to life the fact that these people have a bit of history together, even if some of them don't remember it. I am looking forward to actually getting something done with the dream. I was trying so hard to get in there, but next time. Also, star for everyone's face when I said aliens was the good one. I appreciated that. Sean is very wrong. But,
there was there was a moment where I was like, wait, does Ben actually think that? I was like, no way, that's definitely something Sean would think. Yeah.
Was that it?
I think it's it.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
it was a good time.
Yeah. No, I didn't want to interrupt. Yeah, for stars, I mean, Ben, I knew it. Like as soon as you were like, "Oh, the brother works for the TV station," I was like, "I know what you're gonna pull on me," and then you did, and it hurt anyway. It's just that was so good. Just like that first wham line of like, there's a note that says "Work late, Scott," and you go like, "Who's Scott?" Like, no, don't you dare. And I love that you just like that. That wasn't the end of the scene, but that Sean actually remembered, which is insane and awful because now he's the only person that's hurt so much, just so much. That was really, really good. Incredible build up to that, and then wonderful payoff. I also do love just the team mom vibes that Sean has. I just like love him taking care of the kids, and then like when he goes, "Elliot, shut up," like it actually works. And then when Nathan tries, it just like makes it so much worse. I just love that difference in dynamic. It's just perfect. Um, for Steph, I really loved Topher like trying to look out for Ashley in this very like creative and like roundabout way, and like going into the laptop and pretending like, "Yeah, I'm your subconscious, don't let them spray your vegetables with stuff." Like that was really funny. Really, really well done. For Alex, yeah, I love that Nathan got his first murder in. That was very sweet. I also love that Nathan straight up annoyed someone out of suicide. That was peak Nathan. It's like, I'm just gonna keep talking until you give me what I want. That was great. I really love that. Um, also really love like your suggestion about the song that Sean was like doing the flashlight on the rhythm. That was really smart. That was very fun. And for Jason, I loved the mirror bit. So I was like, I'm not sure what I'm gonna find. And I was like legit like, I pull off the cloth. Like you had me jump scared there. That was great. I also thought it
Well,
was
I love that
so
it was just
creepy.
I love that it was just like I think it was just like Happy Jack just being a jerk. Like there was, there was like
Yeah,
nothing there. It was just like him just being like ha
exactly.
ha ha. Yeah.
Just like straight up like trolling, which is like somehow even scarier than if he had done something deliberately scary. But
No
there's like
explanation
something
whatsoever for why this puppet is alive, and
right.
is dragging a body like underneath its like behind itself.
Yeah, I just loved how that scene went in like a completely different direction than I thought it would. Just like, I mean, like the slashing, the fight, that was kind of where I thought it was going. And I was like, "Oh, here's a tape. Now I'm just trolling you, and now you're free." And Ashley, like, both me and Ashley were like, "What the fuck? What is happening?" And somehow that's like scarier to not know anything and to just have this thing be like, "Here's a tape. Now go upstairs. I don't want you anymore." Um, I also really loved that conversation with the whisper with Ashley. I thought that was super scary. And I like to contrast that in the basement, she was actually relatively safe. And then, like, outside, when she's like fully free, that's where the scary, uncomfortable stuff happened. So I thought that was like a very cool 1-2 punch. And for wishes, I mean, I'm in love with Flo, Florida something. She's cool. I love her.
You mean from
I
reading the
want to see.
mystery?
Not even that. I haven't read it because I
Oh, you
didn't
oh
want to
just
spoil it myself. Just for like the
just
7
just for
lines.
like the little tiny bit we got. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, just the 7 lines you used to describe her. I love her. I'm in love with her. I want to see her all the time. So I hope we get to see her again. And
She's
yeah,
technically a bad guy in the mystery, so yeah.
oh no. I'll have to come to terms with that. Um And I think also, I mean, I'm at 3 conditions, so I want a vulnerable move anyway, but I think either follow up with Topher or with Nathan would be very interesting. Because we can't keep dragging that out forever, I guess.
Fantastic. Any more stars and wishes? Okay. Then that will conclude our session for today. Let's wave goodbye to everybody watching the video. Goodbye, everyone watching the video.